You people are consistently in the vortex. All of you have been in there often, and all of you recognize that momentary feeling of elation, of moving from out to in. In other words, it's always a feeling of rush. It's a feeling of passion. It's a feeling of well-being. It's a feeling of such satisfaction. All of you have done it, but few of you do it deliberately, and almost none of you do it consistently. Most of you are looking around waiting for some condition to spike up, to be so rewarding that all you have to do is look at it and, you're in the vortex. That newborn baby puts me right there. Have another one. Jerry's trying to talk his daughter and daughter-in-law into having another baby, and they're not having any of it. Esther says we're going to have to mess with their birth control pills or something, because they think they're finished, even though we want more. They're trying to call more grandchildren through. Because that newborn baby, that little one freshly here, that one still tuned in, tapped in, turned on, that one who is still willing to color with Jerry. The little ones are still more in alignment with who they really are. The longer you're here, the more you are trained by others to a criteria that does not serve you. And so that's what this gathering is about. We've been calling it the art of allowing for a long time. And it really is the art of awareness, the art of being aware of my emotions, the art of awareness of my two vibrational aspects, the art of allowing, because I'm aware of my two vibrational aspects and because I'm aware of the way I feel, the art of focusing myself into alignment with who I really am, and therefore allowing the fullness of who I am to flow through me in this moment, rather than looking for something externally, whether it's another person, a telephone call, a counselor, a mother, rather than asking some other person or some place to be the reason you go into your vortex. We want you to be the reason you go into your vortex, and we want the reason to be because it feels good and I can. Every good feeling that you have, whether you think it is about the lottery you just won, whether you think it is about the lover you just found, whether you think it is about the thing that you wanted that now you have, every good feeling that you have, no matter what degree of it feels good to you, every good feeling you have is for one reason and one reason only. You lined up with you just now. And this vortex has already assembled all of the cooperative components of everything that you've asked for. So spinning there in this vibrational reality is a full version of everything you want. All the money, all the bodily conditions, all the feelings in relationships that you want, all of the material objects, everything is queued up vibrationally. And don't scoff at that, because everything that is manifested, including your earth spinning in its orbit, spun in a vibrational reality first. The difference is, once you are here on this earth, putting things into your vortex, the amount of time that it takes in your physical earth terms between not showing up in your experience and showing up in your experience is no time. When you become a match to the vibrational vortex and all of those cooperative components that have been assembled, when you become a vibrational match to that, it is instantaneous. In the moment that you stop the resistance, the trail lights up. Now, we want you to understand that as creators, the lighted up trail is what you're looking for. You really don't want the instant manifestation. Can you imagine the absence of satisfaction that a sculptor would have if in the moment he touched the clay, it just became the statue? There's a clump, there's a clump, there's a clump, there's a clump, there's a clump. He wants to mold it. He wants to let it evolve. He wants to discover it. He wants to be part of it. And so do you. So when you get into the vortex, we're not saying that you will have an instant manifestation of what you want, although sometimes it seems that fast to you in relative terms. What we are saying is, when you get into the vortex, the trail lights up, your feeling of empowerment ensues, and the details begin to unfold as you follow the path and let your creative mind take you blissfully on the path of becoming that you've set into motion even before you stepped foot into this physical body. Creating is so delicious, and it's what we all are. And you came into these bodies intending to sift through the contrast in order to discover more desire. Sometimes as physical beings, you think you're here to struggle your way to success, and we say that cannot be. You can struggle your way into asking. You can suffer your way into knowing that you don't want that and that you want something else. And it's an interesting thing, because when you know what you don't want, an equivalent, equal, counter desire is always born. So this vortex of creation that you have put into motion is filled with the culmination of what life has caused you to create in your asking as you sifted through contrast. Ooh, wasn't that beautifully said? This vortex is full of the vibrational equivalent of the asking that your physical experience has inspired through the sifting of the contrast that you've discovered along your way. You've created a vibrational reality that you hold ownership to, that stands in readiness for you, that waits for you eternally. We think you should get it now, however. We don't think that you should wait anymore. We think it's time for you to get into the vortex and begin to reap the reward, to find the answers, to solve the problems, to feel the exhilaration, to be the being who you have created. We think it's time. And otherwise you can do it when you croak. It's your call. We're eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. It is our desire to coax you into the vortex. We know that you're having some step one moments, and we applaud every one of those, because if you weren't sifting through contrast, you wouldn't be asking, and if you weren't asking, we all wouldn't be expanding. So we never want you to think that we want you to get into the vortex and stay there only. We just want you to make the vortex your primary goal. We just want you to make your vortex your main event. We just want you to make not being in the vortex the anomaly that it was meant to be, not the career that so many of you have made it into. In other words, you did not plan to make step one your life's work. If you watch television or listen to those, it is so interesting how people are so drawn to catastrophes, to the problems of life. And we say, you didn't plan on spending so much time on that part of physical experience. It doesn't matter. It's not slowing things down. All you're doing is putting more into the vortex. And then those who get into the vortex are having richer, fuller experiences. But this is the time of awakening. This is a time when more will be inspired by you and those like you to discover their vortex. This is a time of awakening to the power and passion and love and good feeling life that you all deserve. What do you want to talk about? Oh, some things. Very good. Begin right here. Now, physical humans, you don't get very excited when a desire is born within you often. Those of you who have come to understand the power of your creative ability, those of you who've come to understand that when you align with your own desire and therefore offer no resistance, those of you who know that are thrilled in the moment of the birthing of the desire. Oh, good, something to want, something to focus upon, something to bring myself into vibrational alignment with. But humans who don't understand focus, who don't understand energy, who don't understand vibration, who don't understand eternity, who don't understand who you were before you came into this body, who don't understand that even while you're in this body, the larger part of you still remains non-physically focused, those humans who don't understand that, who don't remember the big picture, those humans do not take any sort of delight in the launching of a desire until they've figured out how to bring it into manifestation. In other words, until most humans know how it's going to come, when it's going to come, where it's going to come from, who's going to help them. In other words, if you've got someone that you believe can assist you, someone who will back you up financially or support you in some way, most humans are not all that excited about a new unfulfilled desire. And the operative word is unfulfilled. That's the operative word. Unfulfilled. Unfulfilled. Where's it going to come from? Where am I going to get it? Who's going to bring it? How's it going to come? If you don't have answers to those questions, and you almost never have answers to those questions in the beginning of a launch, then your desire doesn't feel good to you. It feels like absence of something wanted. Because when you stand in a manifested reality, and your manifestation does not include the new desire that you just hatched, or the new desire you hatched yesterday, or the new desire you hatched last last year or 18 years ago, that new desire that you hatched, that you haven't figured out how to fulfill, it's not ringing your bells usually because you have forgotten the process. And the most important thing to understand is you are so enamored with your manifested reality that since you look at your reality and you can't see the car you want in your driveway or the mate you want in your bed or the money you want in your bank account, you can't see the way to book those tickets for that flight to that place you want to be. If you can't figure out how it's going to come about, then that desire is haunting for many of you and unpleasant for many of you and annoying for many of you and defeating for many of you, the physical yous who are surrounding this planet. So we want to help you to understand that, yes, of course, there is always a gap between the hatching of an idea or the hatching of a desire and its manifestation, but you don't have to wait for the manifestation in order to know the reality of it. Because everything that is ever manifested in your life experience, there has been a vibrational reality that preceded it. And that vibrational reality is where the source within you stands. It's where your inner being is. It's where the larger part of you is. It's where your creation has already come together. It's where all cooperative components have come about. And it's the place that we are calling the vortex of creation. You came forth into this body and you are comparing and sorting and sifting through data. And all day, every day, you are launching preferences vibrationally, just like all creators do. And as you launch those preferences vibrationally, even though you and others in your neighborhood might not be able to see it because it has not manifested in a way that it can be translated through your physical senses, it exists nevertheless. It is a vibrational reality. And we hope today that we are able to bring you to the place where you are able to feel the content of your vibrational reality as vividly as we feel it and see it and know it to be. Because if you can accept the reality, the concrete reality of your vibrational reality, the reality that precedes all manifestations, and if you can begin today to look forward to your vibrational reality, you will today begin to live your life the way you intended to do it. Think about it. As source energy coming forth into a physical body, you actually made the decision to come forth, get ready for the drum roll, into an infant body with no teeth. An infant body, not able to even stand up. An infant body, completely dependent upon someone else for resources. An infant body, not ready to take hold of your life. An infant body, that's the confidence with which you came as consciousness into this time-space reality. Understanding so fully that even in that infant body, you would stand as a consciousness that would emanate preferences, knowing that those preferences would move into this vortex of creation, and that the larger part of you and that which man calls God would tend it and hold it and beam the light so bright and call you toward it. You understood, you had such faith and confidence that well-being was yours. And that is the confidence with which we want to restore you today. We want to bring you back to remembering who you are. We want to awaken within you a memory of this vortex of creation, this vibrational reality. We want to distract you from the reality that you call real life reality. And we want to convince you that the reality, even the reality that you are living right here today, is past tense. It's done. It's old news. And where everything is at, where all of the action of life is, where everything that you are, everything that you have recently become, and everything that you are humanly, physically moving toward is in this vortex of creation. We want to distract you from the reality that you are so enamored with and that holds you back vibrationally from matching up to who you really are.